Hey guys, ProFuzzy here, and today I will be playing some Runner 2 for you. And today's topics I would like to talk about is some CES coverage topics. Obviously, unless you're affiliated with somebody or like rich or some shit, you really can't go to CES, but I'm gonna do my best to kind of cover stuff that I've learned from different resources, specifically about gaming, not really necessarily related to anything like phones or anything like that, because that's not really what my channel's about. But anyway, so let's get on with it. One of the first things I would like to talk about is the what Razer had to show there so far, or what they have there, from my knowledge. They came out with a new thing called Razer Forge. That is a Android-based TV gaming system, which would allow you to play Android games on the TV. It actually supports more than just your standard controller. It will support their controller. It'll support other Bluetooth-style controllers as well, or third-party controllers, as you would call it, probably. And another thing that's kind of cool about it is you can actually get a software from them called Razer Cortex, and that would actually allow you to stream your gaming computer straight over to the little Forge device. It's a pretty freaking cool thing, really. And the next thing that they kind of had was called a turret. It works with the Forge. It's actually a See, the biggest problem that gamers have when they're gaming on computers that are actually connected to their TV, they have a problem with not being able to like play certain games, you know, with a controller, because not a lot of like MMOs or anything like that really will use a controller. So the biggest problem is having a keyboard at hand that doesn't string a cord across your room, and also is pretty compact. So they came out with something called the turret, which is basically just a Razer style keyboard that has a little flip out thing that will allow you to have it's a little flip out mouse pad is what it is. You can use a mouse on that. I assume you can use any mouse on that. But that is a pretty cool feature as well that you can buy along with the Razer Forge. And the last thing that Razer had is called the Serval, or the Razer Serval. It's a gaming controller. It kind of reminds me of, basically, it's like their twist on the Xbox controller, but it does have Android keys allowing you to actually navigate the Android style operating system. And then another maker or manufacturer company that kind of has something cool is Samsung. Samsung's TVs in 2015 reportedly will start using PlayStation Now services, so you will actually be able to game on a Samsung TV, play those PS3 games, and possibly maybe even some other type of PlayStation games in the future, just using your TV and a controller, which will be pretty sweet if you ask me. And another thing about, actually kind of related to Sony, how Samsung and Sony partnered with that. This is actually just a Sony article here. PS4s have now made it to 18.5 million units sold, which is pretty remarkable. Crazy. And then another thing Sony did, they released their Now service, and they did release it before. It was a beta service, but they actually made a subscription for it now. And I kind of disagree with how much it's going to cost. Reportedly, it's going to cost $20 for a month of service and $45 for 3 months, which doesn't sound so bad. But it does sound pretty crazy, because if you think about, like, I know it's kind of not really even close to, you know, like streaming movies like Netflix. You pay like $9 and you get like, or $10 or whatever, and you get like, you know, streaming unlimited movies. But I think they could afford to make it a little cheaper, or maybe make a year plan that costs somewhere in the $90 range or something. I'd probably pay about $90, $80, $99, somewhere like that, just for a year of service streaming. But they really have to up to their plan. I think rather than having just PS3 games, or so what I see now, they should really put some PS1 games on there, some PS4 games, and some other games like along those console generations as well, like maybe some PS2 as well. That'd be pretty cool. And the last thing I would like to talk about is Oculus Rift. They have come out with a new dev kit, and it now supports 3D sound, which allows you to put on the headphones that are built onto it right now. The consumer product will actually reportedly have them removable, but basically they're just headphones that mounted on the side, or are mounted on the side, and you can move your head around and you can actually hear where different sounds are coming from. Everything from like crouching. If you crouch, you can hear it above you. If you stand up, and the device making noises below you can hear that, etc. They also put more tracking LEDs, or IR LEDs, on them, which will make in turn for better tracking, which allows you to navigate more easily without any confusion of software. And they updated the screen as well, is another thing. They haven't entailed on what exactly, or how big the screen is, or if it's like, you know, if it's a 1440p, or if it's like 1080, if it's anything beyond that, maybe 4K, who knows. They haven't reported on any of that yet. Hopefully they fix the pixel issue with the pixels being a little too noticeable, but for that's pretty cool. Anyways, guys, so I want to thank you for watching this video. That's all I really have to say for these products today, and thank you again for watching. Subscribe and follow me on Twitter. Thank you. Bye bye. Click, 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 click.